Come with me to discover the transformative power of kindness and the joy it brings. Join me as we explore every Monday morning simple yet profound ways to elevate your happiness, one gesture at a time.
Wow, fantastic baby, dance. I'm gonna dance. Fantastic baby.
Fantastic day to everyone. Thanks for tuning in. It's Motivational Monday. Welcome to the complete guide to happiness. Now, let me set the scene real quick. If you're listening to this on Spotify, it's just audio. I'm sitting here in Antigua, Guatemala, in my garden on a swing, having my cup of coffee. It's Monday morning, and I want to inspire you. I want to give you lots of fantastic advice because I am a motivational speaker, life coach, philosopher, author, world traveler, and yacht captain. I mean, the list goes on and on. But here's what I'm going to say to you first. I promise you, and I pledge to you, that if you listen to this show, this podcast, you will look better, you will feel better, you will live longer, you'll be happier, you'll be more successful in business and in personal relationships, and you're going to help me make the world a better place because we're going to do it together, and a kinder, cleaner place. And that's what the world needs. Now, this is the first. I love firsts. We're going to talk about that in this podcast. I have had a TV show in Belize. I had a radio show in Los Angeles. I have over 2,100 videos on YouTube. I've got blogs, I've got Instagram, Facebook, you name it. And it's all designed to put a smile on your face, give you some fantastic advice, and some incredible stories. This podcast I'll have some incredible guests because I have over 9,500 what I call ambassadors of kindness. They're people that have met me, or mostly personally, but a lot through word of mouth, introductions. I've got hundreds of groups around the world listening to my advice that's tried and true. And those things I said, I'm going to explain further how it's going to make you happy, how it's going to change your life, hopefully. I mean, hopefully life is fantastic. And it's going to be after you hear my advice. I've got lots of advice, and I'm happy to share it with you. On this program, I'll probably read some of my motivational quotes, which I send out each day to my hundreds of WhatsApp groups. I think I mentioned that around the world. They're usually from a philosopher of note, like Plato, Marcus Aurelius, people like Abraham Lincoln, celebrities, people that have done something in life and they've got some great experience and they've got great quotes. Like Rene Descartes, who once said, "I think, therefore I am." One of my favorite quotes. So each day I send out these quotes to the ambassadors around the world, along with one of my quotes, because I'm a philosopher, as I said. These shows that you're going to see on this is unscripted, unrehearsed, unconventional, unbelievable, but true. Might rain on me here. It's a rainy day in Antigua. But I promise you that the advice you're going to hear is going to be fantastic. And at times, I might play some of my cooking shows because I have, as I've been traveling for the last 5 years throughout America, Turkey, Egypt, Belize, Guatemala, a few other places, Mexico. I like to cook, and I think that's part of being happy is eating well. And I'm going to give you lots of advice on being happy, obviously, because this is the complete guide to happiness. So today is the first day of the rest of your life, and I want it to be fantastic, and I want all your days to be fantastic. Now, so here's my first piece of advice for you. I'm going to get to the 3 commitments to kindness and the Global Kindness Pledge later, but I want you to know who I am first. But before I even get to know who I am, this is my first podcast. They invited me to be on this podcast channel. I think it's broadcast on all different kind of channels around the world. But I love firsts. This is, again, my first podcast. Uh, and if you embrace firsts in life without fear, because fear is false expectations appearing real, or without the fear of failing, which is just the first attempt in learning, you're going to have great experiences. Let's start from the beginning. When you took your first steps in life, probably wasn't so fantastic for you, but for your parents, it was really fantastic. I'm a grandfather, and when you see that child walk for the first time, it's pretty fantastic. Uh, when they start talking, that's fantastic. Maybe not for them, or for you, but for your parents. Um, the first time you make money is pretty fantastic. And I'll go through the experiences for me, and hopefully it's the same for you or better. Uh, I uh, I remember I was about 8 years old. I was in obviously elementary school, living in Hillsborough, California, and I used to make hot toothpicks. I put cinnamon oil in a big mason jar, put the toothpicks in there, shake it up, package the toothpicks, go to school, and come home with a jar filled with quarters, nickels, and dimes. It was a great experience to make money. I think that was my first job. After that, I picked grapes at 9 years old. I mean, I've done a lot of things around the world, over 100 different fields. And through all those experiences, of course, I've come up with my theories that will change your life. I made mistakes. I want you to learn from my mistakes. Um, so that was a great first, making money. The first time you ride a bike, you fall down. It's life. You fall down, you brush yourself off, you get back up, and you do it again. And when you first ride that bike, it's pretty fantastic because you're on your own, and it's challenging and it's exciting. The first time you drive a car, I remember mine was a '54 Chevy, and that big steering wheel to turn it to the left, turn it to the right, feel the car move, hit the gas. It was exhilarating. So the first time you drive is pretty exciting. The first time you kiss a girl or a boy. I remember my first time, the girl stuck her tongue in my mouth, and I didn't know what the hell that was about. Later, of course, I learned it was called a French kiss. So I stuck my tongue back in her mouth and exchanged tongues. So that was pretty exciting. First time you make love. That's pretty exciting. I'll never forget that one. Well, I forgot most of it, but I'll remember the minute it happened. Back in the old days, we had what's called, kissing was first base. Touching a breast was second base. Going to the private part was third base, and making love was fourth base. So I was about ready to go to fourth base because we went through the bases, and she said I have to go to the bathroom. So as she was going to the bathroom, I laid there thinking, I'm gonna get laid. I think I was 17, and it's a pretty special experience. Hopefully, it was for you as well. Obviously, it's bad for some others, but again, I think firsts are great in life. The first time I flew a plane, taken off by myself, called a solo flight, it was exhilarating. And it lasted for about 15 seconds till I realized I have to now land the damn thing. And that was pretty exciting, and I landed it. I was never a great pilot. I crashed a couple times, but flying is fantastic. The first time you jump out of an airplane, pretty freaking fantastic. I actually hired a videographer to tape me on the way down, and I'm screaming the way down. Yes, it was pretty fantastic. Let's see, a couple other firsts. First time you get married. First time you get divorced. First time you again have your first baby. Oh, brings tears to your eyes. Had him at home, boy, and it was pretty fantastic. The first time you start a company, that's pretty cool. I had a whole long list of them. I don't know. Maybe I'll come up with them. But anyway, so this is my first broadcast. This is the first time maybe you're meeting me. And you need to know who I am. Why would you listen to my advice? And so I'm going to tell my story today. Today's first podcast. I'm not going to have interviews because in my 9,500 ambassadors, I've got billionaires, I've got queens, I've got really incredible people with fantastic stories. Quantum physicists, inventors, doctors, nurses, Indian chiefs. I pretty much cover all the spectrum in these 9,000. There's only 9,500 people trying to help me save the planet. And the planet needs saving, as you might know. I don't talk negativity, but unless you're living under a rock, humans in the last couple hundred years have polluted our skies, our lands, our streams, rivers, oceans, seas, lakes, and so I've got some advice for that. The three commitments to kindness, by the way, when you hear them, solve all mankind's problems. But again, before you take the time to listen to these podcasts, you might want to know who I am. Now, I didn't know what my real name was till I was orphaned and I was put in a foster home. I think that was at 10 years old, 11 years old. And they said, your name is Lester Monta Cook III. I go, whoa, what a cool name that is. Because up to the first 9 years, I thought my name was Monty Richer. Because my mom, rest her soul, she was in show business. She married my father, Lester Monta Cook Jr. And they had a daughter first, and then they had me. And he split when I was 2. And she got disillusioned from high society and the plasticity of Hollywood and money and corruption and all the horrible things that money brings. And she marries a beatnik, Arthur Richer. He was from New York. He brought the beat scene from New York to Venice. So we moved from Beverly Hills, which is a pretty wealthy community, to the poorest community in California, Venice. Now, the reason I'm telling you this is because I have a perspective on life that no one else that I've ever met has. Because born into wealth, thrown into poverty, and then after my parents died, thrown into middle class, it gives me a perspective on life that's quite unique. And I can relate to the rich, the poor, and the middle class. And I have proved this through over my many years on this rock. So we moved to Venice, and he was into love, art, and family, which is fantastic. That's pretty fantastic to be into that. A lot of people are into money. I don't recommend it. We need money, obviously. Excuse me if this phone's ringing through it, but the phone rings quite a bit. I don't know how to turn that off. I'll get better at this technology thing for the podcast. All my 2,100 videos on YouTube, by the way, are one-take wonders. I don't do a second take. I do one take, and again, unrehearsed, and what have you. So where was I? So basically, we were living in Venice, and Life magazine, as everyone else in the world, would take advantage of artists. So they came to him and said, we want to do an article on your art. And he's a pretty famous artist, passed away, of course. And the article came out as Beatsville versus Squaresville. We were on the front cover of Life magazine, and it showed our Beat family, living in this ramshackle pad in Venice, and this other family, very square family, living in Kansas. So it's quite the dichotomy from, I guess, Beatsville versus Squaresville. I hope you're enjoying a cup of coffee on this first podcast, or while you're driving to work, it entertains you. We're going to have a lot of fun in this series. I have fun every day, and I want you to have fun every day too, because every day on the top side of the grass has to be fantastic, and it's up to you to make it fantastic. So we moved from Venice to Topanga. I don't know if you all know where Topanga is. Beautiful enclave in Los Angeles. And then we moved to San Francisco, so he brought the beat scene to San Francisco. That was now the 60s, I believe. We moved quite often. I don't remember much going to school because we moved so much. And then we finally got away from society, and we built a log cabin with another 2 families in Hillsburg, California, which was, again, the poorest area. We always lived in the poorest areas because artists didn't make much then. And now it's one of the most expensive places on the planet. But George Herms, who's famous and alive today, had a tree house. The Bermans had a regular home, and it was on a big piece of property in Hillsburg. And we were building a log cabin. So one night, they were all in the tree house, taking drugs and talking art, living life. And George went to make coffee in the kitchen. Now, inside his window, he saw our home half on fire. And without even yelling to all the other adults, he just ran out the door and saved me and my 3 sisters. Because my stepdad, Arthur, had 2 daughters from my mother. And he saved us, and that house burned 10,000 acres because it was the time of the Santa Rosa fires, and that was a huge fire, and there were no firemen to put out our home, and it burned to the ground. It was I can remember the flames, 100 feet in 50 feet in the air, and it was quite a thing. And the firemen came. They were very kind. They gave us our EMs, ready to eat meals. That was nice of them. And then we couldn't impose on the families anymore because they did build up a lot for us to build that home. And the local farmer gave us a shanty to live in. And people never liked being around artists. It was better to be a trashman than to be an artist because at least you're a working artist, even though it's work to paint. They weren't respected. And so nobody wanted to associate with us, but they would deliver food and clothes on our front porch at night, and we'd wake up to gifts. That was pretty cool. That was then when I started picking grapes, and there were orchards around, which are now grapevines in Hillsburg. But my mother's dying wish was, don't let LA get my kids, because all the big cities are, concrete jungles. They're not the greatest places to live. I always say, as a philosopher, you should be in a big city for one of two reasons: to find a mate, and there's lots of mates there, or to make a bunch of money. And once you find your mate, you should get the hell out of the town. Raise them in a community that's a community, I don't talk negative again. So now I'm in a foster home. Now my stepdad Arthur was not very kind to me, to say the least. I was beat pretty good, and my stepdad was a horrible man, and it was a tough. I always said I was Cinderella, so I didn't have much love as a child, and when I had my boys, I gave them a lot of love. I gave them the love I never had, and I didn't use. A lot of people use that they didn't get love, not to give love, because it's better to give than to get. At any rate, so it was a tough upbringing in the foster home. I don't want to go too far into that, but he called me some very bad names and beat me, and it was pretty bad. So finally, I ran away, and before I ran away, I went through high school. I did graduate high school. That was tough, but fun. And I decided that college wasn't for me because high school was so tough. So I figured if I hitchhiked around the world on my own wits, and I got to give my foster father credit because he did teach me the trades. So I'm a plumber, I'm an electrician, I'm a gardener, I knew how to do all the trades, which is kind of cool because I know I could survive anywhere, and I do that now on my own wits. So I decided if I could hitchhike around the world on my own wits, that was going to be my education. And it's called the School of Hard Knocks. And maybe one of these episodes I'll read my dissertation for my master's at the School of Hard Knocks, which is pretty cool. And in fact, people are enjoying it. It's a pretty good dissertation. So I really believe I have all the answers to make you happy and to make your business more successful. Now, whether I'm right or wrong, it could be debated, but I believe I do. And to have belief in yourself, to have confidence in yourself, that's where it's at. So I hitchhiked to 35, 40 countries. Didn't make it all the way around the world, but did some amazing things. I mean, the winter of '72 in Switzerland was I have stories. I have more stories than Carter has pills, but that winter I got the best job in Davos, Platz, Switzerland, very famous place. I have 5 mountains there, and I could write a book or make a movie just on that winter. It was amazing. And of course, I built before I even get there. I built a silo in Iowa. I was a waiter in Florida. I did so many things around the world, and I've never done it for money. I always did it as a challenge. And after over 100 different fields where I've been paid something, like my 99th, as an example, was as an international courier to deliver the cure for COVID to a billionaire in Ukraine. That's how I got out of the country, because I started this journey I'm on, which I call the Be Fantastic World Tour, to teach people about kindness, to give speeches to children in schools and governments, which I've been doing. And so a gentleman called me, Doug Ivanovich, very famous guy, because people who know me trust me. And that's why I say if you trust me and you hear my story, which I'm trying to tell you now, you'll understand my point of view, because life is about perception. If you look at life through my eyes, and I'm going to try to convince you how to look at it like that way, in a positive manner, know that everything's going to work out. Know, negative thinking and negative people are cancerous to your health. I mean, avoid them like the plague. As a matter of fact, that was my quote this morning on do my daily quote. Avoid negative people and thinking like the plague, because they're cancerous to your health and happiness. So they called me. I was in Florida at the time, and said, we need you, because they trusted me. And it was a very important drug to give to this billionaire in Ukraine. So there's my ticket out of the country. Again, I didn't have any money. That was going to be fantastic. I'm going to go to Ukraine and chalk up another profession on my list. Next day, they called me back and said, no, we changed our mind. We're going to give it to this pilot, and he's going to fly it over to Ukraine, and blah, blah, blah. So I hung up the phone. I'm thinking, damn, that was my ticket. So being a creative thinker, which, one of my dreams is to be in a think tank and solve the world's problems. And kind of doing that with my World Kindness Pledge, and what I'm calling now the Kindness Revolution, which I invite you to be part of. And I said, geez, I gotta turn this around somehow. So I started putting my thinking cap on. It's always on, by the way. And I called him back. I said, Doug, you're going to give the cure to COVID to a stranger who may or may not trust. He told me he was a stranger, to deliver over there. Now, let's just assume, and this is a small possibility maybe, that guy's sister, relative, wife has COVID. Do you really think he's going to give it to a stranger, not give it to his family? I mean, it's the cure for COVID. And I said, you called me because you trust me. You know I'll deliver. And they thought about it. They said, yeah, you're right. So they shipped me the cure. I jumped on a plane, went to Ukraine, met Zahor, and interviewed him, which is a great interview. And great. I'll talk about that one day, what he talked about. And he became an ambassador, of course. Everyone I meet becomes an ambassador because I asked them to follow the 3 commitments. So let's see, where was I? Again, this is unscripted, so I'm just I'm trying to get you to know me, so you could trust me. I may not always be right, and I'm going to piss a lot of people off because I teach hard love. I didn't get a whole lot of love in my life, but my wife loved me. Girlfriends have loved me, but love is a many splendid thing, as they say. So where was I in this story? So I partied like a rock star in Ukraine. I danced and sang with the band, the local bands on the streets, and just on this 5-year journey, just trying to meet as many people as I can, learn from them. I've always believed that I should learn something from everyone I meet, and I believe that when you cross paths with someone, there's a reason you cross that path. Most people have blinders on. They'll sit on an airplane for 6 to 8 hours and not talk to the person next to me. I think that's a travesty because we're all connected. We are all connected. We're all part of the universe. And I've learned so much stuff I'm retired now, by social media. I mean, it's amazing. Fantastic people that are out there. And I'm happy to have met so many of them in my life. And this show is me introducing you to some of the people I've met, but more importantly, it's giving you the advice that I've learned from them. I mean, I knew Ronald Reagan. He called me when he was governor, and wrote me a letter and called me from the White House. Because he dated my mom. And by the way, that's the only picture I have of my mother. Betty Bly was her name. She sang for the big bands, and her parents were very wealthy. They were dress designers and tailors. She dated Ronald Reagan, one of 7 women he dated in his life. And so the only picture I have of her is with him on a date at Sea Rose in Hollywood, and that's the cover of my book. It's called Lester's Legacy, and I'm looking for a real publisher. I've self-published it on lulu.com, but if anyone out there wants to publish this book, which was turned into a script, which Hollywood loved. Polygram gave me a 4.4 out of 5 because it's got the beat scene in it. It's a true story, of course, my story. It's you got the beat scene in it. It's got Hollywood. It's got Vegas. It's got mafia. It's got a lot of stuff. And Gwyneth Paltrow wanted to play my mom. Roger Moore, when he was alive, wanted to play Marvin, one of the characters in the movie. Ted Kotcheff wanted to direct. And still, anybody wants to make a movie. See, everything happens in life as it should, when it should. For this podcast to happen, it's just, you got to let life flow. Don't stress yourself. Stress is all your fault. If you stress the weather, like it might rain in a second, am I going to worry about it raining? And it's going to rain in a minute, I think. I'm not stressing it. Am I stressing that this battery is going to run out and that's not going to... If you stress something, it's your fault. You stress the weather, you're an idiot. Stress traffic, you didn't leave in time. Stress a relationship, you could leave it. Stress money, that's really bad. Stress causes pain inside and in your body. My mother died from stress, from worrying. Worrying, if you worry about something and it doesn't happen, it was never smart to worry about it. I mean, whether it happens or not, worrying didn't do any good, is what I'm trying to say. So, again, this isn't scripted, so just follow me as I try to introduce my train of thinking anyway. So where was I? Can anybody out there? I think I need a co-host. No, I don't. So I've had it, and it's still having a fantastic life because I don't stress anything. I don't stress money. Unfortunately, being Dr. Fantastic, which is what I'm known as, because I'm giving you all the prescription for a happier and longer life. That's not my real name, of course. But it's great to call me Dr. Fantastic, and I prefer that because the word fantastic makes you smile. That smile reduces stress, anxiety, and depression. So you should look in the mirror every day and say, I am fantastic. And you say it out loud, and it convinces your subconscious. It's called manifestation. So I came up with the Global Kindness Pledge, which I'll talk to you about in a minute. But the most important thing about this show is going to be the 3 commitments to kindness. And I'll probably jump around about my history, but I think you know a little bit about where I'm coming from. Just because I didn't go to college doesn't mean I don't have as much information and experience, maybe sometimes more experience, than a lot of psychologists. People go to school in college, and I know this for a fact, and cheat and pass, and then they practice as a doctor, or they go into their field without really knowing what they're doing, and making mistakes. I happen to know that doctors and all kind of people make mistakes. They really make mistakes. It's a shame. Again, I won't talk much about negativity. I'll try to give you always positive information. But to believe in yourself, let me talk about the 3 commitments now. I'm thinking about it. It's time you learn the 3 commitments to kindness. These 3 commitments to kindness, as I said earlier, will make you look good, look better, feel better, make you happier, make you more successful, make the world a better place. They have this thing called the 10 Commandments, but I've never really met anyone that can name them like that. And if you can't name them like that or remember them, they really aren't doing you much good. So I made it simple for humans, because humans are simple creatures. We're fantastic creatures, and we're horrible, evil creatures. We've done a lot of destruction. I don't talk negativity, but these 3 commitments, pay attention now. They're very important, because if you follow them, one is, and try to follow them, because it's not going to be easy to follow them, all of them, but you're going to be what's called an ambassador of kindness. And we need more than 9,580 as of today. The first commitment, the hardest commitment in your life, and the most important commitment in your life, is to be kind to yourself. Now, I could talk for hours on that, and I will throughout the series here, but the most important thing is to love yourself, to know that you come first. And if you don't love yourself, how could you love others? If you don't have confidence in yourself, how could you accomplish anything? You got to believe in yourself. So there's my favorite analogy for being kind to yourself and knowing that you come first. People say, "Oh, my kids come first." If you're not alive, how could your kids come first? How could you help your spouse, your company, your God, whatever your anyone in your life, the world, if you're not alive? So the analogy, if you've flown in an airplane, 4.5 billion people fly every year, I think I'm told, and they all need to be told, by the way, how to use a seatbelt. That's beyond me. I should start a company on how to put on a seatbelt because a lot of people don't know. At any rate, they say if the oxygen mask drops, put it on first, then help others. You come first. Your happiness comes first. You're not going to make anyone happy unless you're happy. So I'll give you a couple quick things on coming first, or believing in yourself. Know that it's going to turn out okay. Be positive. Positive thinking manifests positive actions. You should look in the mirror and say, "I'm beautiful. I'm healthy. I'm happy. I'm all the things you want to be." Well, and unfortunately, people look in the mirror and say, "I'm ugly. I'm fat. I'm overweight. I need a nose job. My hair needs to be changed." They beat themselves up. People beat themselves up, and they care too much what other people think. No one's opinion matters but yours. If you think you're beautiful and everyone thinks you're ugly, that's their problem. Everyone's opinion about you has an agenda for them. So don't listen to people. Listen to your heart. Believe in yourself. Love yourself unconditionally. Now, it's not all about the first commitment, but I can go on and on and on how you come first, And it's not selfishness at all. I don't say other people don't come along or aren't important, but you have to be alive to be of service. Okay? So that's the basic of the first commitment to kindness. Second commitment to kindness is to be kind to all others and the creatures. They call it the golden rule. Imagine if everyone treated you like you treat them. Open doors for people. Say kind words. I used to have, they used to call it the 4 commitments to kindness. For years, it was the 4 commitments. Because the 4th commitment was say kind words. Because words matter. Words have power. The word fantastic, to tell someone that they look fantastic, makes them smile, which again releases the stress. So to say kind words, words matter. Words have power. I think I just said that. And I think I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry about this. So being kind to others and the creatures, I was living in Egypt for a long time, and they don't like dogs there. They kick the dogs. Pet a dog, don't kick a dog, The vegans say don't eat animals, which, we can't just change things overnight, but to be nice to creatures, to love all others. It's so important. If we're kind to all others, we won't have wars. We won't have lying, stealing, cheating, arguing, fighting, bullying, teasing, raping, all the horrible things mankind does. And I want you to be fantastic. I want you to be kind. And so I have a little saying. It's kind of cute. Kind people don't lie, steal, cheat, fight, or kill. I think we could agree on that. But if you must lie next to someone that you love. If you must steal away from bad company. If you must cheat death. If you must fight tyranny. And if you must kill a bad habit. Those are the only times you should lie, steal, cheat, fight, or kill. Okay? That's a cute little saying. Let's get it. Number 2, being kind to others. Man, greed is a horrible human condition, and that's what's caused the wars throughout mankind's history. When I counsel people and I give advice, we're no different than Caesar or Cleopatra back in the day. They want to know about love, about why we're here, what's our purpose. By the way, our purpose is to be happy, and that's why I'm going to hopefully introduce you to the complete guide to happiness. So the second commitment, I could talk for hours. Sometimes I forget some of my stories, but my stories are all interweaving, and you'll get by watching this podcast, you'll get a little bit of all three commitments in my stories, and I got lots of great stories, and again, lots of great hosts or guests that will be on the show. The third commitment to kindness. Hopefully, you can guess it. You're standing on it or sitting in it. Be kind to our Mother Earth. What does that mean? That means take accountability for your actions. Don't litter. Don't pollute. Use less water. Use less electricity. A lot of corporations aren't going to like my advice when it comes to using less, because a toothpaste manufacturer wants you to use a lot of toothpaste on that toothbrush. I say use a third less toothpaste than you're used to using. Does the same job. You save a third of the money. Third, less trash that goes into our planet. And, with 8 billion people on the planet, we're throwing away a lot of trash. I mean, we're polluting our planet just by the trash that we throw away. I live by myself right now, traveling around the world. And I'm amazed at, in one day, how much trash that I collect, because I do like to cook, so there's a lot of wrappers. But there's a lot of trash being dumped down. If we take accountability for our actions, using less water, I know you've made a lot of money, and you say, I want to take a 20-minute shower. I made the money. I can, I deserve it. And you do deserve it. But 20 minutes, please. What are you doing for 20 minutes there? I get in the shower. I get wet. I'm a pretty big guy. I'm 6 foot tall. It takes me about 30 seconds to get wet. I soap up, and I rinse off. Now, I don't know if I was supposed to do that twice, but I think the soaping up and scrubbing up is enough to get rid of the dirt. Some people don't shower once a day. Some people shower once a week. Some people don't shower, and some people shower multiple times a day. I mean, water is the most precious commodity on the planet next to air. We need air and we need water, and we need to be happy. That's the thing. We need to be happy. And I hope that you'll call in on the show, because we're going to have call-ins on subsequent episodes next week, once a week, every Monday. I call it Motivational Monday. I want to help motivate you. So that's the three commitments to kindness. Now, again, 6-7 years ago when I came up with this plan, it was an idea to be kind. I think it's pretty important. And it turned into the Be Fantastic philosophy, which are the three commitments to kindness, which evolved into my mission. I'm on a mission to share this philosophy with the world. And it's now a foundation for world harmony, because peace and harmony and kindness I think is very important. And now I call it the Kindness Revolution. And I want you to help me save the planet by being part of the Kindness Revolution. Now, the essence and the real goal now in this Kindness Revolution is the Global Kindness Pledge. It takes the three commitments to another level. And you're going to feel the power of this, and I want you to repeat after me as I say it. But I believe that if the children of the world are convinced to say this pledge, because they used to have the Pledge of Allegiance in America, but there was God in it, and that got the people pissed. And a lot of countries have pledges, and a lot of groups, like the Boy Scouts, have pledges. Boy Scouts of America. I think I was one once for a couple of days. And the Global Kindness Pledge, if you say it in the mirror every day, it'll inspire you. Please repeat after me. Let's see how it goes. I pledge to be kind to and love myself. Very powerful. The first commitment to kindness. I pledge to be kind to, love. No, I got it wrong. I can't believe I got it wrong. I pledge to be kind to and strive to love all others. Can you believe I got it wrong? And by the way, if I ever say good, slap me, because good's a four-letter word. It has no energy. Replace it with fantastic. So again, the second commitment is I pledge to be kind to and strive to love all others and the creatures. The third commitment, I pledge to be kind to, love, and respect our Mother Earth. We are all fantastic. You are fantastic. I am fantastic. That has a lot of power. And it's my goal to share that in this podcast. And as I've been doing it with the YouTube channel, which is following me on my escapades around the world. Pyramids, Geyser, Istanbul, Turkey, fantastic place. A lot of people can't travel. And when it was COVID, it was fantastic to travel because there was no one at the zoo, museum. And I ended up always meeting the curator of the museum or the director of the zoo, and the magnificent places I went that everyone was sequestered in. Because the reason I left, because I knew right away that COVID was man-made, and I knew it was released, and it pissed me off. I'm a little bit disappointed, or a lot disappointed in humanity. I call it the insanity of humanity. And there's a lot of evil people doing some really bad things out there. And so I said, I'm going to go around the world, and I'm going to teach the 3 commitments to kindness. My wife thought it was crazy to do this. You might think I'm crazy. A lot of people might think I'm crazy. Calling myself Dr. Fantastic sounds a little crazy. But I'm going to go with Steve Jobs on this one. Steve Jobs said, people who are crazy enough to think that they can make a difference in the world are the ones that do. And science backs up my theory, my philosophy. 9,500 plus people and hundreds of thousands of others that know about it, but 9,580 ambassadors of kindness are in this community, this kindness community. And science, the smile, when you say, I am fantastic, and you should say that every time someone says hello, even if you're feeling like shit. Because if you're feeling like shit and you say I'm fantastic, it makes you smile, which releases, again, the endorphins and the stress. But it also makes the other person smile, which is an act of kindness. I walk down the streets here in Antigua, and I know that I'm passing someone who doesn't speak a word of English, and I look at them and I say, because I like to always catch eyes and smile with people, and I think you should do that too. I look at them and say, que tengas un día fantástico, which is have a fantastic day. Their faces light up like I just gave them $1 million. And their eyes light up and their faces light up, and they say, igualmente, which is thank you very much. Same to you. No, same to you, igualmente. And muchas gracias, which is thank you very much. I made someone's day. To make someone smile might have made their day. People commit suicide all day long. I should start a suicide hotline because I could stop people from committing suicide if they follow my advice and my suggestions and learn from my mistakes. And my cousin, my partner, killed himself. I've had a lot of deaths in my life. And is it the end? Maybe it's not the end. But being orphaned at 10 years old, I have some theories about whether it's the end or not. Well, and maybe I'll tell you about that now. I think if there's a heaven and hell. Let's look at it this way, and this is how my vision is. You have a certain amount of time on the planet. My parents died in their 30s. Some people live to 100, and sometimes more. So let's say you lived to 100, and you had a full life, and you were kind, and you did fantastic things to people, for people, and yourself, and you die, and you go to the afterlife, and you get to look back on your 100 years on the planet, forever, for eternity. That's what I call heaven. Now, let's talk about hell. Let's say you're the guy who says, I want to retire at 40. I'll be pretty much young. I'll be able to play tennis and golf and travel. I'll be healthy at 40. So I'm not going to party as a teenager, or I'm going to save every dime I make, and I'm going to retire at 40. Then he gets in a car accident at 39 and a half. Now he goes to the afterlife and looks back at his 39 and a half years. He wasted it. Thinking about the future. Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. Today is a gift. That's why he calls it the present. They call it the present. That's hell. You only have a little bit of time on this planet, and that's to be happy. So I'm going to try to convince you to be happy, whether you like it or not, if you follow my advice. And I guarantee you, 100% money back guarantee, that you're going to be happy, or happier. Now, here's the only problem with all of this, is it's free. I'm giving you free advice. I give free speeches. This is my gift to the world. And again, let's go back to the insanity of humanity. Humans don't respect free shit. Great example. You go to a party, and it's free booze, and you have a cocktail. Mmm, delicious. And you drink half of it or less, put it down, wander around, get another drink. I promise you, if you paid for that drink, you're gonna drink it all. So, and if free advice is like, one ear out the other. Pay $1,000 for your therapist, and you're respecting it. Now, some therapists did go to college. Granted, they could recite this person and that person, and throughout history, what we learned. I can't recite all that stuff, but I know it. I know the secret to happiness. Matter of fact, the other day, a young lady became an ambassador. I told her about this show coming up, the Complete Guide to Happiness, and she said, "What is the secret to happiness?" Well, there's lots of secrets, and I'm going to reveal them in the show. But I told her one, and I'll tell you it now. Find something in life that makes you jump out of bed in the morning. Imagine being so excited that you just can't wait to get out of bed. And I think there's three types of people, by the way. About 5% of the world is the ones that jump out of bed. Then I think there's 90% of people that have to get out of bed because they have to do something, because they have to survive, and they're not thrilled to get out of bed. And then there's 5% that say, "Fuck it, I'm not getting out of bed." But to be able to jump out of bed in the morning, looking forward to your day, which means you're going to enjoy what you're doing, whether it's painting, skateboarding, whatever you're doing, you're going to enjoy it. And when you enjoy what you're doing, you're going to do it very well. You might even become an expert at it. And when you do something very well, someone's going to pay you for it. That's the gravy on doing something that you love. Now, to jump out of bed for money, I mean, maybe that makes you happy, but money does not buy you happiness. I had money. I had the trappings of money. I had the yacht, the big yacht, the nice homes, the nice cars, fancy stuff, fancy clothes, fancy watches, all that kind of stuff. It's just stuff. And I've never seen someone have a U-Haul in their hearse going to be buried. Every day on the top side of the grass is fantastic, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. You got to make it fantastic. It's up to you to make it fantastic. I'm going to help you guide. I'm going to help guide you to that goal, which is to be happy. And not to beat yourself up, man. To enjoy the little things in life. A sunrise, a sunset, a flower. I think I was telling you, I give out these quotes every day, and they're free. And so every once in a while, I'll talk to one of my ambassadors. Are you enjoying the quotes? Oh, I'm too busy. What are they too busy doing? Making money. Okay, so because it's free, they're watching it. And this is a quote. These quotes are fantastic. They really are. They're from famous people in history that have something really valuable to say. And then I have some valuable things to say as well. But because it's free, they don't have the time to listen to them, to watch them. The insanity of humanity. What can we do? What can we do? So again, this is the first episode, Love First. I think I went over how fantastic firsts are in life. Another first, let me get back to, I just recalled a couple firsts that I had. The first time I was in a private jet going across country. I put together a deal to look at Cortez's treasure in Florida. So we flew in a private jet. What was his name? A famous lawyer. I'm trying to think of his name. At any rate, that was fantastic. You pull your car up, you get in the jet. It's really a great way to travel. First time I'm on a $300 million yacht. Amazing. What a great experience that was. First time I captained a yacht. That was pretty cool. First time at the Cannes Film Festival. First time crashing the Academy Awards. I've done so many firsts. First time building a silo. That was amazing. First time running a snow machine in Switzerland. First time being a waiter. So many firsts. I've had my life filled with firsts. And I want you to fill your life with firsts. And again, not to have the fear of that, of change. People are so afraid of change. The CEO of Disney, he's a billionaire. And to me, that guy didn't. I don't agree with what he did. Started in the mailroom. Anybody could do the mailroom. Then he became mailroom manager, and then the supervisor, and he worked his way up without taking any risks. Well, he's a billionaire now, but God, I love taking on challenges. Give me a challenge. Anyone call in the subsequent episodes. I had a buddy, Chris, who said we should start a TV show on every episode is you trying something new. I would love that. Anyone out there want to produce a show with me doing that? Because I know I could run any company. I know I could run any country. Because I have the confidence, and it's just being able to control the environment and manage the people. I'm a people manager, and I'm trying to manage you to be happy, and that's what my goal is now on this guide, the complete guide to happiness. So I think you got an idea of my point of view. How I was raised. Again, how does someone teach love and happiness when they didn't have it as a child? It's just the formative years. But I feel I was a fantastic parent. My sons are very well. Matter of fact, my one son who became a top 180 in the world in tennis, I taught him tennis. I always say I want to be just like him when I grow up. Because my wife would always say, when are you going to grow up? And I would always answer, never. And because I don't think like humans, but I know how humans work, and I'm going to help the humans with my advice, my suggestions, my stories, learn from my mistakes, and enjoy the show. Don't take it serious. I got to mix in comedy, and luckily I could cuss here because I love the word fuck. I mean, it's a great word. It's very expressive, and it's a great activity to do. I did a comedy routine recently here in Antigua. It was open mic. So I did all the expressions and all the emotions that come using that word. Like when you tell someone to leave, you say, get the fuck out of here. Or you tell someone, or you're surprised. Are you fucking kidding me? Or you don't like someone, fuck off, I mean, I went through like 30 different expressions to use that word. And a lot of people think fuck comes from medieval times, standing for fornicating under consent of the king. But I looked it up, and it's just a fairy tale. There's nothing wrong with fairy tales, because they're great stories as well. And I'm going to tell you some great stories. I mean, on my YouTube channel, Be Fantastic, I actually made a whole series of they're categorized on one of my websites, but like in life, as I traveled the last 5 years, if I saw a Ferris wheel, I'd get on it, I'd make a video on it. The Great Wheel in one of the biggest ones in the world in Vegas. I didn't take the one in Chernobyl because that's closed, as you might imagine. I was in Chernobyl, made some videos there. So I make videos on I have one category just for Ferris wheels. I have another category for burgers. I love hamburgers. I call it the Fantastic Burger Challenge. Wherever I'm at in the world, I eat a burger and I rate it on ambiance, taste, number of different factors. I also have a cooking show, which I hope to be able to play each episode. They're short, they're fast, economical, easy, delicious, and fantastic recipes. I make the best guacamole, guaranteed. Guarantee it. Some of the best pizza. Just lots of great recipes that I'm giving away again. And I think I'll air those, maybe talk over them, and show you how funny they are from Sharm el Sheikh, Egypt, or a campsite in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, or in Istanbul at a hostel. Wherever I'm at, I try to at least do one episode. I've done a couple ones here in my condo. In Antigua, I started a restaurant here, helped to start it, and it had a hostel. And then I went into a real hostel. Then I went into rented a room, and now I'm in a condo. Beautiful condo, beautiful garden. And I'm going to do a lot of traveling. So this show may originate from here on Mondays. May originate, like I'm going to be going to China a couple of weeks, and then France and America. So wherever I'm at on a Monday, I'll tell you where I'm at and what's going on. It's got to show you some more happiness. and read some of the quotes that I've put out throughout the week for those who aren't following, and just have fun. Because if you don't have fun, what good is life? And if this podcast fails, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. I just want you to be happy. So I think that's enough for one episode. I don't know how long I talked for. I don't even know why I have a watch, because I don't keep track of time much anymore. I forget what day it is because I am retired. But it's a very expensive watch, so I figured I keep it on my wrist as jewelry. This is a little, I want to tell you real quick about this thing. This I got from the guy who started the King Tut Museum in Sharm el Sheikh, Egypt. I was his consultant. And it's Thoth, Thoth, the god of wisdom, one of the most important gods that ever were. And it broke. And so what I did was I put it on a necklace I bought here, super glued it on, and then bought a jade, because there was a little hole there where to hold the necklace. So this is my little god of wisdom, and I have a lot of wisdom, and I have a lot of common sense, an ornament and out of common sense that allowed me to hitchhike around the world and be successful. And I ask people, do you know much about common sense? What do you think about common sense? And the typical answer, it's not common. If only they were to teach common sense in school. But you can't teach common sense because it comes from experience. So this podcast here, I'm going to just tell you my stories. And hopefully you'll learn from those stories and be entertained by the stories. Because the Be Fantastic channel was all about entertainment, education, showing you the world, because a lot of people can't travel, and trying to make you fantastic. The word fantastic, throw away the word good, replace it with the word fantastic. It'll make you feel better, look better, live longer, because it reduces stress, anxiety, and depression, which make you live longer. So everything I said before, look better, a smile makes you look better. Live longer, reducing stress, anxiety, and depression makes you live longer. Look better, did I say that already? Feel better, because when you say the word fantastic, you feel fantastic. Make the world a better place, because you're giving kindness to everyone when you say, have a fantastic day. You did a fantastic job. What a fantastic life. I am fantastic. Say it every day in the mirror. I am fantastic. Say the kindness pledge. Send me the kindness pledge on video. The Foundation for World Harmony.org lists everything pretty much, but it shows the pledges. Again, I've got a billionaire or two giving the pledge. I've got all kind of fantastic people, because we need to show people how important and how valuable the pledge is, because it will spread happiness. It will make you happy to say that pledge. I pledge to be kind to and love myself. I pledge to be kind to and strive to love all others. I pledge to be kind to, love, and respect our Mother Earth. We are all fantastic. You are fantastic. I am fantastic. Have a fantastic Monday. Have a fantastic week. I'll see you next Monday. They're going to teach me how to put in some videos, how to work the broadcast channel, Zoom. This was pre-recorded because they weren't ready, and I'm ready. I'm always ready. I go where I'm invited. I was invited to Belize. I was invited to Antigua. I was invited to this show. I was invited to drinks last night with two beautiful girls. I go where I'm invited. Invite me. I'll be there. I'd love to talk to your school, your company, your government. I want to be on the UN Nation stage, talk about life, love, and the pursuit of happiness. And it all comes down to two words. Two words save the planet, ladies and gentlemen. Be kind. Kind to yourself, kind to all others, kind to Mother Earth. Be kind, everyone. Have a fantastic week. Always think positive, because it's going to work out if you think that way. Bye-bye. Let me spin it around, show you my little garden on the close of the show here. Hopefully this is still recording. Looks like I've talked for, well, look at that, 59 minutes. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Unscripted? 59, 45 seconds? In 10 seconds, it's one complete hour? Are you kidding me? See, I have the most blessed luck in the world. Have a fantastic day, everyone. Thanks for watching.
thought you might enjoy seeing the cover of my book. And this is the logo for the Foundation for World Harmony.